Good day, everyone. This is Heleen, your detox coach. Today, I want to talk about what happens if your tonsils have been removed. This relates to anyone whose tonsils was removed, as well as anyone who's sitting with extremely congested tonsils. You will have the same symptomology. So there's two factors to what happens to you when your tonsils are removed. There's something that happens to you above the tonsils, or where the tonsils would have been, and there's something that happens to you below where the tonsils would have been. So let's start with above. Because the tonsils are such huge lymph nodes, it would have actually had more of a pull on the lymphatic fluid in your headspace. So this means that you now have even more of a backup of lymphatic fluid, which lymphatic fluid is the fluid that picks up the waste from our cells, right? And you can imagine you've got your brain up there and your cerebellum. These guys work hard every day. They eat nutrients and they transmute energy, and they have wastes all the time. And this cellular waste is then supposed to be taken away by the lymphatic fluid, and through the lymph nodes, this beautiful path with the lymph nodes around your ears going into this big lymph nodes here. And each lymph node contains bacterium, right? They're the carnivores. They're the ones that deal, like your septic tank at home. You've got your grey water part and you've got your septic tank part, right? So the septic tank part needs bacteria. Otherwise, you're going to sit with a problem. You're going to have to get it pumped out at some time. Same way in our case, we've got this lymph nodes, and each lymph node contains bacterium that deals with the waste that is in that lymphatic fluid, and it is guided in these neat rivers, from your tonsils. It would have gone through the lymph nodes down to your armpits. It wouldn't have affected the rest of the tissue around there too much, but that's more about below the tonsils. Let's stick to upstairs a little bit. What does it mean if you now are accumulating more waste in this lymphatic fluid that surrounds the cells in your headspace, the cells of your brain, your pituitary gland, your pineal gland, your cerebellum? These are very important parts of your body for you to experience a full life on this planet. So now all cells are surrounded by this lymphatic fluid, and this lymphatic fluid is accumulating more acids than it would have even. What is the characteristic of acids? It makes things stick together. It dehydrates things, So now your nutrients start sticking together. The blood vessels stick together, so it delivers less oxygen, less nutrients. The cells start starving more because the nutrients are clumped together. Cells can't utilize clumped together nutrients. It can only utilize singular nutrients, So cellular starvation starts setting in. Things are getting so dehydrated that the wastes are not being removed. They are not receiving the nutrients and the immune response they need to receive. So now, if we look at the prime needs of cells, which is to receive food, nutrients, and to have their wastes removed, these are now not happening. So this is definitely not something you want to have happening in your headspace. Things like balding, losing hair, sinus problems, can't remember things, can't sleep, your pineal gland are too congested. Overgrowth or undergrowth problems means your pituitary gland are in a congested space. Imbalance of hormones, for instance, if there's not enough TSHs, which is the thyroid stimulating hormone, which is produced by the pituitary gland for the thyroid, so that the thyroid can function, right? So all these organs and glands now are affected with this fact that your tonsils has been removed. What happens downstairs, because this lymphatic fluid that contains the acids of your headspace are now not moving in this neat set out blueprint that was meant for it, it now falls and cascade down your neck, down your throat. And depending on how your body have decided to deal with it, will depend where this cascading is happening. Some people have it cascading in the front of their throat, so their thyroid, parathyroid, larynx, pharynx, esophagus, all of these tissues really suffer, really takes this punch of all this acids coming from the lymphatic fluid. Some people have it going down their sides, one side, both sides, where you really have this stiff neck thing happening over here that sometimes you feel like you've overslept your neck. Really it is actually stagnated acidic lymphatic fluid. Other people have it go down their spine, really influencing the spine and deteriorating that and make it weak. So these are all things, some of them or all of them, that can happen down here if your tonsils was removed and are now not equipped to deal with the lymphatic fluid. So how you can compensate with this is always the first steps. Always get your kidneys and your skin to filter better. To filter in the first place, or then filter better. Alkalize your lymphatic fluid so that it can drain successfully. And as the lymphatic fluid of your body drains, it makes space for this fluid to drain as well. And then, as you get rid of the acids, as you alkalize this, it's not that much acids that comes down anymore. And then you can also make use of herbs. I've got a beautiful brain and nerve formula, and it goes hand in hand with the circulation formula. It's really nice to use that. I'm sort of on it permanently. I've lost my tonsils, and I've done the research on what that means, and I've put together this formula to really just support the cells of the headspace and the circulation, because now we support the blood circulation system to help us to sort of pull, to help the lymph to stay on the move, And then things like moving, walking, swimming, Pilates, yoga, those four is highly suggested to keep that lymph moving, because your lymph doesn't have a pump like the blood does. Some people say it's the blood that pumps the heart. Other people say it's the heart that pumps the blood. The blood seems to be able to flow much better just because the pump is there. Who knows what was first, the chicken or the egg, right? The lymph doesn't have that. So it really helps to stay on the move, to make sure you walk your 45 minutes a day, swim as much as you can, really just keep that moving. And high impact sport is not always the answer. Really just a slow walk, Pilates and yoga, not too intense, until your kidneys are filtering. Then you can bring in the intense sports again. So that was a little bit on your tonsils and what happens if you have it removed. If you haven't done a detox with me yet, make sure to check in the description. Join me on one of the detoxes we run on a monthly basis. It'll be lovely to share the information with you so that you are set up and you know how to heal yourself. So stay well, everyone.